and I've used the illustration a number of times where it's like you have this huge traffic circle world. If you just imagine this huge traffic circle in the world where everyone's going around this traffic circle trying to find the right exit. Which way should I go? Which way should I go? And Jesus is over there going, this is the way.
Yeah.
This is the way. And yet everyone keeps going around the circle. But every now and then you have people that see Jesus and they go off and they move in the right direction. They follow after him. And he doesn't quit giving up on trying to get people's attraction. But people just keep going around the circle.
Yeah.
And I that image has always stayed with me, in that it just helps explain a little bit why people don't see Jesus. They're just caught up in going around the circle. They're just caught up in doing life and doing routine, and they've seen other things and other exits, and maybe they've gotten off on the wrong direction, and they go, oh, this is not the right way. And then they get back on and they just keep going around, and then hopefully at some point they see Christ and they go, that's the way. That's who I need to know. And a lot of times it's like, I'm going to follow this car. I'm going to follow this guy, and he helps or she helps me find Jesus. And so I think that's at least that's an illustration that stays in my mind as that a lot of people, they don't know they're in darkness because they've always been in darkness. They don't know what the light looks like. And so when people do stuff like the Olympic Games, that craziness
doesn't look any different to them.
They don't see the difference because they're in darkness. And so I have to temper my anger, my initial anger, and just recognize that, hey,
they don't know any better.
They don't know any better. Or if they did know better, they probably were hurt at some point to cause them to walk away. And I think that's an interesting point too for a lot of people who have, of your generation and the millennials. They talk about, being unchurched. That a lot of people became unchurched probably because they've been hurt by religion, by a religion or a religious experience, and yet that's not God. God reaches out with love and care and wants people to know him. And so we just need to keep that in mind. Going back to the social studies question, that we just need to keep in mind that people come from all kinds of perspectives, and we need to try to understand where they're at, why they are hurting, why are they lost, why are they in darkness. It may not be because they willfully chose to go that direction. That just may have been all of their life, that they've been lost or that they've been hurt. And again, I've seen a lot of people who have been hurt or hurting, and you try to approach them where they're at, and not try to make them be like me, but where are they at, and what does God want them to know? So,
well, I think I don't think religion will disappear, but I do kind of wonder, just more on the spot thinking this, but how will the church change in time will be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well,
how will it adapt? I think especially to because social media and stuff like that, so young in comparison to a lot of things.
Right.
I think there's a lot of stuff like that will be interesting to see how the Christian church responds to it, as well as other religions and stuff.
I think COVID was a great example of the church. Adapt or die.
Yeah.
And we had to embrace technology and doing things differently more than ever before. It kind of revealed good attitudes and bad attitudes among people in terms of how we did worship and what we allowed and didn't allow. Excuse me. And so, I think if you look at history, the church has always been challenged, and really it's the challenged church. In some cases, it's the persecuted church that thrives. If we're challenging, we're crying out to God. We're energized. We're innovating. We're thinking about things. So I kind of look forward to it.
Yeah.
That we should be challenged.
So we're not just sitting around on the couch eating potato chips, right?
Well, hopefully not. But I mean, it's just, trying to find different ways to connect with people. And, we've seen in the last year or so, different people coming to church and coming to faith, and that they have just wild and crazy backstories. Not necessarily because they chose them, but because their family and a lot of the young adults, young kids, their family don't know anything about God.
Yeah.
So they're coming into it blind.
Totally different experience.
Yeah. And so for those of us who grew up in church, we have one perspective, but their perspective is totally different. So we have to kind of understand a little bit better where they're coming from, and not necessarily expect them to look at life the way that we do from our angle, because they've never been in our shoes. As a matter of fact, they don't know that life could even be this way. So
yeah.
So I think that's something good that we have to keep in mind, but again, being challenged by people and them not knowing anything about the Bible. So when we talk about Bible stories, not presume that they know who Moses is, or who Noah is, or who Jonah is, or who Jesus is. They're here because their friends, they're following their friends off the traffic circle going, okay, they said Jesus is over here. We don't have any idea who he is. Well, he seems like a good guy. So let's go check it out. So
yeah,
we live in that kind of world.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely a strange thing.
Yeah.
We are very much missionaries in America now.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah.
It's definitely changed.
It's changed. But I'm so glad, because I love my country. I love my people group. And I love to be able to be involved in trying to speak into their lives. So, yeah, I love this people. I love the people of America. And isn't it great that God's brought so many diverse people groups to America to engage with and know? So, yeah, I'm a missionary to my people.
Hoorah, America! Right?
Yeah.
That's how we're ending it off.
Well, I don't know about hoorah, but definitely that, God give us a greater love for people. Not just people like me, but people. And that's always challenging. And that's, I think, the challenge for the church, when you have people coming into your church that are different than you.
Yeah.
But God loves them. So
roll with the flow.
Yeah.